Today on the CTV News, it's the end of an era for Canadian farming. The wheat board is gone. Plus, road construction, it's about to get worse in Lethbridge. And the Cirque comes to town.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good evening. The monopoly on Western grain has come to an end. Today is the first day that farmers can market their wheat and barley however they choose. The Canadian Wheat Board is no longer the only option. Local farmers who face jail time protesting the monopoly are excited for the change and are getting a clean slate. Alicia Fieldberg reports.
A huge crop of supporters gathered at a Saskatchewan farm to celebrate the beginning of a new era for the prairies. Prime Minister Stephen Harper and Federal Agriculture Minister Gary Ritz joined hundreds of farmers to celebrate the end of Canadian Wheat Board's monopoly on Western grain.
There are farmers from Brandon, Manitoba to Dawson Creek, British Columbia, and all across this great prairie who for decades did not have a choice in how they sold certain crops. This day is for you.
Our government has simply given to Western Canadian grain farmers the exact same freedom that already belongs to similar farmers in the rest of this country.
It was mandatory for Western grain producers to sell their wheat and barley through Canadian Wheat Board since the Second World War. The federal government passed a law in December 2011 allowing them to market their grain on their own terms. Now they can either sell through the board or privately. Today, Prime Minister Harper recognized those who have fought for the change.
A group of farmers convicted under the old unjust legislation of the wheat board monopoly will be pardoned by the government.
John Turcato of Tabor is one of several southern Alberta grain producers who spent time in jail for protesting the monopoly. In 1996, he and other farmers refused to pay fines after selling their grain in Montana instead. He thinks the change offers new opportunities for farmers.
We've had these price spikes before that you haven't been able to capture. So it just gives you way more flexibility and it puts you in control. It's a great day in Western Canada. It doesn't get any better.
While many believe this new era will give producers the chance at higher prices, others worry the open market will leave farmers at the mercy of railways and big grain companies. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Former directors of the Wheat Board are asking the Supreme Court for leave to appeal a lower court ruling on the way that the government stripped the agency of its marketing monopoly. Supporters of the board say farmers should have voted on the future of the board. A 27-year-old man will spend 6 months behind bars after admitting to stealing farm machinery from southern Alberta farmyards. In June, RCMP recovered several tractors with the identification stickers removed, a baler, quads, and a holiday trailer. RCMP found some of the items at a residence north of Raymond and the rest southeast of Warner. Nicholas David Huber, formerly from Ontario, was charged with possession of stolen property. Huber has admitted to taking 3 tractors, a trailer, a hay baler, an ATV, and diesel fuel. He also pleaded guilty to breaching a conditional sentence order from Ontario. All of the equipment has been returned to the rightful owners. And 2 men facing second-degree murder charges made brief court appearances this morning in Lethbridge. On July 24th, the body of 47-year-old Michael Powell was found inside a Southside home. Police say Powell and 2 acquaintances were visiting the home when they got into a dispute, which then turned deadly. 25-year-old Kelsey Prairie Chicken and 27-year-old Brandon Brown both face charges. Their case has been set over until August the 15th. Well, Lethbridge Regional Police have wrapped up an independent investigation into a citizen complaint against a member of the Whitehorse RCMP. Back in January, Mounties in Whitehorse arrested a 57-year-old woman. She later contacted RCMP and complained that she had been injured by police during the arrest. Lethbridge officers were called in to conduct an investigation. In the end, they couldn't find any evidence to support the allegation of excessive force. Whitehorse RCMP have been cleared of any wrongdoing and no charges will be laid. And there is a new top cop in charge of the Cranbrook-Kimberley RCMP detachment. Staff Sergeant Blake McLeod has been appointed the new officer in charge, and he has also been promoted to inspector. McLeod is originally from Southern Ontario. He's served with the RCMP for 18 years, all of them in BC. McLeod comes from the Kelowna detachment. Okay, Dory Rossiter, little dip in the forecast, little cool down, but the weekend still looking really great.
Yeah, you know, even tomorrow, I mean, it gives us a bit of a break. We have a few showers on the way. Temperatures aren't going to be that bad, though, tomorrow. We're still going to be hitting probably 20 degrees for a daytime high. But as we get into the weekend, we'll look back on that as a bit of a break because the weekend temperatures are hot, hot, hot. And I'll have all the details coming up in a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Dory. Well, it's often been said there are only truly two seasons here in Canada, winter and road repair season. The latter, it's the case in Lethbridge right now, with virtually every major street under some kind of an upgrade. While there is an end in sight for some projects, for others, it's only the beginning. Daryl Rummel reports.
Crews continue to rip and tear at Bridge Drive. They're about to start the same on South Mayor McGrath. And at Whoop-Up Drive, paving is in full swing. Virtually every major roadway in the city seems to be in some state of disrepair. Experts say as many as 44,000 cars per day cross Whoop-Up Drive to get from east to west and back again. According to the latest census, that's nearly half the city per day. The good news?
It'll be open in the morning.
The bad news? There's still 2 more sections to go.
Pretty quick, actually. I thought a little quicker than I expected, but...
Bridge Drive has been closed for nearly a year. Many motorists wonder if it'll ever reopen. On average, 7,500 cars travel this route daily. The urban construction manager says work to extend water and sewage service to the west side is nearly complete, and it's costing $1.1 million less than expected.
So we finished the last project on schedule and under budget, which was really great. That gave the road builders extra time to do some improvements to the roadway.
One of the biggest challenges facing this particular roadway was that of storm washout and eventual erosion. Now, to combat that, crews have installed riprap and erosion matting. They've also reconditioned the ditches that line this road. They say they have proof that it already works after 2 or 3 big thunderstorms this summer. An end in sight is just what Chris DeBruin has been searching for. He operates Bridge Valley Golf Course. DeBruin says most of his customers live in West Lethbridge. All of his customers complain about the inconvenience, and it's hurt his bottom line.
I would say a small amount. I wouldn't say it's as big as I originally thought it was going to be, but we certainly are losing some. Construction
here is expected to be complete by the end of September, just in time for the expansion to Mayor McGrath Drive South to fully begin. Daryl Rummel, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The Bridge Drive renovations, they're tagged at $20 million. City officials say the next round of paving on Whoop-Up Drive near the bridge should begin next weekend. At a time when thousands of Canadians are wishing that they were in London watching the Olympics, it seems many Londoners are flocking to Canada. Some have come to enjoy our scenery and tourist attractions, but many are simply fleeing the Olympics. CTV's Kayla Housnell tracked some of them down.
At a time when many Maritimers are dreaming of London,
I'd love to be over there too.
many Londoners wish they were anywhere but.
We're sort of glad because it's very busy there.
And so here they are in Halifax.
The plane was full, so a lot of people are leaving.
They don't want to commute into town with so many more people travelling and that kind of thing, so yeah, it seems quite sensible.
Even with the addition of the Olympic lanes,
it's really crowded and it's really expensive.
Dylan and Kim Collins are visiting Halifax from Wales for their son's wedding, but they say it's just as well.
Hotels have hiked all the prices up, which makes it difficult for families in particular to go. I mean, we know of one family, don't we?
Who had free tickets given them, and then found that the cost of transport and accommodation, they were unable to go because of that.
For one night or 2 nights was £2,000, which is ridiculous, equivalent to $3,000.
Gareth Yachting Rickwood works near the waterfront. He says 2 of his customers from London left specifically to get away from the Olympics.
They were sick of it because apparently the traffic was ridiculous and the government was making things pretty unpleasant for people actually living there.
It seems kind of crazy to me. A whole bunch of people would want to be there and then flee away, so I don't know. Okay. It seems I would want to be there.
Still in London the day the world came to town, it seems many would do anything to get out of town.
Kayla Housnell, CTV News, Halifax.
For the next 2 weeks, you'll be able to join us for all your local news, weather, and sports at 6:30. You can catch us online through our CTV Lethbridge Facebook page or also on Twitter. You can feel the magic in the air with less than an hour until Cirque du Soleil's first Lethbridge performance. Today, crews prepared for the show in the transformed NMAX Center. Kidam tells the story of a young girl who escapes into an imaginary world. The performance includes 52 world-class acrobats, musicians, singers, and actors. Kidam has been performed for live audiences across 5 continents. 7 shows are scheduled for Lethbridge.
Well, we're bringing world-class entertainment, and you don't even have to drive all the way to Calgary. So we really bring you beautiful aerial performances, really strong acrobatics, a live band on stage, magnificent handmade costumes and makeup, just everything. We put everything in one package, and we're delivering it just to you here.
The show runs every night until Sunday. There will be weekend and matinee performances as well. To the markets now, where the TSX closed on a lower note for the 3rd day in a row. Here are the final numbers.